All right, so we've got Shelly out here cleaning up my mess, and wanted to cover a few topics here that were, just questions that were asked over the last week since I posted that video on pruning these apple trees. And the first one is, hey Mike, won't you get tons more sucker growth coming out of these by hard pruning them every winter? And the answer to that is yes, you absolutely will. As you guys saw in that last video that I did on, I think I posted it on Monday, I get a ton of suckers out of these guys in the winter or in the summertime because I prune hard in the wintertime. How could you prevent that? Well, you could be less lazy. I really should be getting out here, and as the new growth starts, like if I get little buds coming off right here or along here and they start turning into suckers, I should just come along and just pluck them off. They would just snap right off. They probably wouldn't even leave much of a scar if I got them early enough when they were just green growth. And so that's how you would prevent that. And it would actually put more energy into the fruit and the actual branches that you wanted on there. I just get so behind like everybody else that I haven't been out here to do that in the last 2 years. Prior to that, I was pruning in the summer and the winter. I got my scaffolding on here, got my fruit spurs all set, and things were just kind of rolling along real nice. But I think this summer I'm going to come back out here and show you guys how to take care of things through the summer and not just through the winter. So having said all that, we've got a little bit of a predicament here because I've got, as I showed you last year, Shelly and I went out with the kids and we bought 6 new trees. Now there's 5 of them here because one of them's on the other side of the chicken coop there, but we've got 2 peach, 2 cherry, and 2 plum. Now, I've never seen an Espaliered cherry, but I wanted to give it a try and see what happened. And so we've got 6 total trees there, plus we've got a Honeycrisp and then another apple from Shelly's mom that we want to get planted out here in this espaliered row here. Now, this is the first row we've ever done right here. We've got another area here. I originally created this space to put another row right down the center there. However, we've got a big hump over there with a big stump kind of sticking up. Another one over here. I might be able to rip that one out of the ground. That one's solid, and I just had the tree cut down maybe a couple of years ago. So the roots are going to extend out. It's just not going to work. So I can fit 4 trees in with the same spacing that I've done here on that side and still have plenty of room to have some anchor posts and on either side and be able to get the mower in around all of that and mow it into a nice beautiful lawn. Now, that would be 4 of them taken care of over here. What am I going to do with the other 2? Well, there's 2 things here. First of all, you'll notice we just came through here and we completely cut down all of our raspberries. I know, it's a little bit heartbreaking. Our raspberries are floricanes, not primicanes, so they fruit on the 2nd year's growth. So every year new growth comes up and then it goes dormant in the winter, and then the following year it actually fruits. So we're not gonna get any fruit on these this year. I'm not too worried about it. Because my mother-in-law's got, 4 rows like this that we go over and pick berries from as well. But here's my thought. I need more room for espaliered fruit trees. What if we just completely demolish the raspberry row? Hold on, guys, just relax. What if we demolish the raspberry row here and we put another row of espaliered trees here? So we'd have 1, 2, 3 rows of espaliered trees over time. We'd have 4 on the very back, 6 down the center, and then this raspberry row would have another 4. So we'd be able to fit in all those trees I just mentioned. Now in the beginning, those smaller trees are just gonna look, they're not gonna look like these. It's gonna take a few years to get up to being real stout and nice like this. But over time, they'll really grow into a beautiful row of espaliered trees and start matching these, and it'll look like a beautiful espaliered orchard. What do you guys think of that? So the question then is, what are you gonna do with all of your raspberries? Well, we want to incorporate the chickens into this because all the weeds keep growing up amongst them, and we don't want to have to deal with weeding that constantly, and shouldn't have to, because we want to use the chickens, and we've always used them for weeding. So my thought was build a little tunnel that comes all the way out here that we put down and we remove so we can mow around it, and what a pain in the butt. Then my thought was this: what if we come over here And we put in, so here's the chicken coop right here. And ultimately, my thought was, I want to get rid of all this interior fencing and make all this garden space. So I was thinking about taking a fence post or a fence line and running it straight across here. And then what if we ran our raspberry row right on this side of it all the way down, and then we had chickens on this side, the garden on this side. We let the chickens into the garden every year anyway, and then that way they'd be able to access the weeds from this side and from this side. We could even let them in where the raspberries were, and it'd all just be over by the chickens. It'd be real easy to manage letting the chickens in and out of where the raspberries are. What do you guys think of that? The only downside would be the raspberries would be removed. They'd be over here, but they're tougher to manage anyway, and they grow like crazy. And so they'd be over where the chickens could manage them. We just have to put barn boots on to go in there and pick the berries, but whatever, who cares? We wear barn boots out here half the time anyway. What do you guys think of that idea? So in doing this project, we definitely have our work cut out for us. We'd have to come through, rip up all of these raspberries. Now, the roots go under the ground, so we just have to keep mowing down over time. Eventually they'd rot back, but we'd have to rip all these out, transplant them over into the garden area and get all that established, which means more fencing over there to keep the chickens out while they're getting established. But in the long run, you know, I'm not afraid of a little work up front to make this place look the way we want. When we originally laid all this out and we had our raspberries here, 2 rows of raspberries, our strawberries, and our raspberries here, you know, it was, in the beginning we had small visions, small dreams, and as we grow and expand into all of this way out there, you know, the dreams and the goals get bigger and the visions get bigger, and sometimes things need to change. But I'm thinking in the long run, it would look absolutely stunning to have 3 rows of espaliered trees right through there, and then we just move our raspberries somewhere else, because to tell you the truth, they don't look that good in the wintertime anyway, and kind of take away from this orchard area. So there you have it. That's what we're up to right now. That's the quandary. In the meantime, I know I kind of took a little poll here on that last video, and I asked you guys, what would you do about these lower branches over here? I was going back and forth in my mind, and to tell you the truth, I had it completely set in my mind that I was going to cut all these lower branches. I was just going to cut them off, and I still might. But when Shelly was out here working with me and I asked her opinion, she didn't even hesitate. She said absolutely not, and she even seemed a little irritated that I suggested it. So because I want to keep the peace in my house, I'm gonna leave those lower branches for now. We can always remove them when she's not looking, and we'll just kind of go from there. All right, I hope you guys got something out of this one. If you liked it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow along and see how all this turns out. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.